Hey, I'm Sarah from Whirl,
I'm Kristen from Rage Against the Minivan.
and this is Mama Said, where we are talking about all things parenting.
Today we are answering a question from one of our readers, and it is, at what age do you think a child should have a cell phone?
Good question.
It is a really good question.
And you have one that's a little bit older than mine, so I'm deferring to you first.
I have lots of thoughts on this one. Well, first of all, I think you have to differentiate between a child with a cell phone with a plan versus a kid with your old iPhone, because I think there's a lot of us that have kids that have old iPhones.
Oh, mine do.
Okay, mine do too.
Right.
So
yes.
in a way, they have a cell phone,
Right.
but it only works at home.
Right.
So let's talk about that first.
Okay.
So let's talk about younger kids, as many of us do. We've got our old iPhone 5 from when we upgraded, and then we hand our kid a phone.
Right.
So
it's essentially like a mini iPad to them. They're playing their apps.
Exactly.
They're playing their apps on it.
So for me, any age is fine with a big caveat, which is you have to lock it down.
Absolutely.
You have to lock it down.
Absolutely.
So you've got to go in settings. You've got to go under restrictions, turn Safari off.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe turn YouTube off, depending on the age of your child, because that can be a bad rabbit hole. There's
I've
a
been
lot
down that one several times.
of no good things on YouTube. So you can turn YouTube off completely. You can turn Safari off completely. And then you can turn off their ability to buy apps.
Yes.
So you set what they have, and then that's all they get.
Right. Which we do something very similar. We have no Safari on there.
Mm-hmm.
My son is like super meta about video games.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't even really like to play video games. He just likes to watch people talking about playing video games. It's beyond me. But he does that a lot on YouTube. Unfortunately, sometimes, I'm off doing whatever I have to do, and I'll, breeze by his room and I hear some salty language, where you just can't control it. So we're kind of right now trying to figure out if we should just take
And he's finding this on YouTube.
Yes,
Yeah.
because he's seeing one that I said he could watch, and then,
Got it.
related videos
Yeah.
on the side, and then he clicks on that, and then he goes down the rabbit hole and is
Yeah.
suddenly watching these 18-year-old guys playing video games, yelling,
Yeah.
what the fuck, things
Totally.
like that. Not so good.
Yeah, I turned it off completely for my kids, honestly, out of just pure laziness, because I didn't want to approve every video they wanted to watch,
Right.
and I just removed the whole option. So what we do, because a few of my kids are prone to the,
Yes.
which I think that's different for every kid, but if you've got a kid who will just completely zone out from being social or
Yes, like my
being
oldest.
physical, yeah,
Yes.
I mean, and I have one like that too. I think you have to be mindful of what you put on their phones. So we don't have any like addictive type games on their phones
Right.
at home. They've got things that are more creative. So they have iMovie. They text each other a lot, just each other. They have stop motion apps,
Yes.
cursive, lots of math games, things that are more creative in nature.
Yeah, absolutely.
That they're not going to sit there and be like in the zone of video gaming.
Yes, we try to keep it that same way. But I think it does. It is interesting moving back towards getting an actual cell phone.
Yes.
And when you think
Yes.
that's so, obviously they are going to have no problems working a device. I mean, I feel like kids these days, from the age of 6 on. I mean, our daughter, when she was 4, went up to the television one day and tried to swipe the screen with her finger. I was like, okay, parenting moment of the year on my
Yeah.
part. But they're used to these devices.
They are.
So the question to me becomes, well, when do I want them to have a phone? Because when am I going to be at the point where I'm like, I need to know where you are and
Yeah.
what you're doing
But
at all times.
I feel like because they already have the device at home, taking that step is not that big, because what the difference is, they could call you after school if you're late or something.
Yes.
I mean,
Well, I just feel that is it just me that I just feel like once there's a plan.
yeah.
I mean, once they're able to use that phone besides just playing a Barbie app,
True.
that it just opens up the door to some more trouble. And I
agree.
don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I grew up where when we were in high school and we were trying to look for trouble, we had to use payphones. We drove up to the gas station and called
Yeah.
people, hey, what are you doing? Or we had like the gigantic cell phones
Yeah.
in bags that were like this big and it cost $75 a minute or
Yeah.
something. But
Or if you were curious what a word meant, you could look in your Encyclopedia Britannica.
or the dictionary. Do you remember that thing? That book, the dictionary.
Vaguely,
You remember that?
vaguely.
Yeah.
So it's trouble. I think it's a lot of trouble. I don't have strong opinions on when a child could or should have a phone, because I think it's all about how a parent locks down that device and what kind of supervision they're given. And I will high praise for Disney's Circle, which is, I have it over there, but it's just a little device that hooks into your Wi-Fi, and it filters everything they can look at right at the source.
What?
Oh, Sarah, it's amazing. Do you not have this?
No.
It's amazing. So instead of going to every device and figuring out the parental controls, it's right there at the source.
Oh,
it's so great. And you can make different users. So like you can, let an older kid have a little more availability, and it will lock them if they've been online. Like you can say only 2 hours, and then they'll get a message like you've been online for 2 hours a day.
Well, hello, I'm buying that tomorrow.
It's amazing.
Tomorrow.
It's really, really great. And it's not a subscription or anything. But yeah, I mean, I don't have strong feelings, honestly. I mean, if I had a large expendable income, I'd probably just put all my kids on a cell phone plan. For me, it's more just budget.
And I think it's going to be different with every child.
Totally.
It's different with every child. It just depends on what your child is like and what your concerns are.
What I would want to do is to send my kid to school with a cell phone that they end up sitting on after school instead of talking with friends.
Right.
So that would probably be my big concern.
I don't know. Yeah. What do you guys think? Yeah. I mean, do you have preteens and teenagers, and when did you give them a phone? I'd love to know.